Hey everyone, Happy New Year's. Can you believe it's already 2025? It's crazy to me too. Want to wish you all a very happy new year and success in the year ahead. To kick off the Social Geeks podcast for the new year, I've got a very special episode where I was recently interviewed for the Wedding Academy's podcast with the lovely Jac Ben and her co-host Ben, where we talked about the software platform that we've been marketing last year, which is the Social Geeks CRM suite, powered by High Level. The High Level suite has expanded massively in terms of its features. It has AI agents that can help with taking phone calls. It can manage your text messages, Facebook messages, and a bunch more. And I am a complete convert since we started using this. Now, Wedding Academy is one of our clients, full disclosure. And last year, we helped them migrate all of their software over to High Level onto the Social Geeks suite. This meant that they went from something like $1,500 a month in software fees, US, down to less than $99 US a month. High Level is fantastic. We are an official reseller under our own brand, Social Geeks CRM Suite. In this episode, we talk about the experience that she's had and why she is an absolute convert as well. I hardly even had to talk about it because Jac was more than happy to give her thoughts on it and discuss how it's helped her in her business and how she thinks it can help others in theirs. So with that all said, we're going to get into the episode. A big thank you to Jac and Ben for having me on the show, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Awesome. Cool. And we've got with us today, Kyle. Kyle is the owner of Social Geeks, which is the digital marketing agency actually that the Wedding Academy use. He does all of our Google ads. He does our search ads, our display ads, at the moment, some Facebook and Instagram ads. We've tried it. We've dabbled in quite a few things, haven't we? Pinterest.
Yeah, definitely dabbled in a lot of different places, but there's so many channels now, isn't there? It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And his job is to stay on top of that and just tell me what we should be doing, which is great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. And the Wedding Academy is such a great brand as well. Like, you know, it's been a real pleasure working with you and just kind of seeing the evolution over the last few years.
He says that, but really he finds me Ben. I don't know why, but
I like fun when it's kind of torturous, you know? No, just kidding.
And for you, Kyle, Ben is the photographer in the Sunshine Coast, which is where you're also normally based. And yeah, we crossed paths on a Facebook group, didn't we? And connected, and there you have it. He's my co-host for most of the time.
Oh, she just recruited me and pimped me, and now I'm just I'm just here to make her look amazing.
Good job.
All right, cool. Well, let's kick it off. Kyle is here for a different reason today. We're not going to talk about ads, although it might come a little bit into it, but we're specifically going to talk today about something called GHL, otherwise known as Go High Level. And I found out about Go High Level myself because I'm always poking around and looking at what's the next best thing and how can we save money as a business and move to better platforms and stay on top of technology. And ironically, around the time that I was looking and found GHL, Kyle said, I'm onto GHL as well, and actually I can help you with it. So I think we'll go to the expert first because it's such an all-encompassing software. Kyle, do you think that you could give us kind of like an overview on what it is?
I'll do my best, Jac. It's quite difficult, I think, to summarize, but
tell me what it is, Kyle.
What's that, Ben?
Tell me what it is, Kyle.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I think it's the best way to explain it is kind of a business in a box. It has all of the software that you need to run a business, manage your contacts, do invoicing. It can host courses, an online community, helps you through social media scheduling. And I think the latest iteration, it's really dabbling in the AI space as well. So trying to have AI assistants that learn about your business, learn about your services, your products, and then can answer customer inquiries on social media, on text message, WhatsApp, and it's even now taking voice calls, which is pretty cool. So it's a CRM, which is a customer relationship management platform, very similar to like HubSpot or Pipedrive, or, you know, there's hundreds of different CRMs out there, but essentially it helps you in running your business and getting it all into one place. So I don't know if that answers it, but I'm sure we'll dive
That's a really good
deeper.
That's a good description. The thing that got me was, I'm sure, Ben, you're in the same boat as I was, in that I had all these different subscriptions. I had one for my calendar booking, one for my web hosting, one for my courses, one for my, and the Wedding Academy the biggest expense that we had every month was these millions of subscriptions. And then Zapier, that magic tool that links them all and integrates them all. And, to go from literally thousands and thousands of dollars a month. I mean, even Kajabi, where we housed our courses, I think that had got to $700 US a month or something. To combine all of those functions into a $99 a month subscription. I'm talking it's grown a bit more because I've added on a few things.
I think that it's a good way of putting it. Like in terms of running a business, generally when you start, you're going to try the tools that are recommended to you by friends or professionals in the industry, and you're going to go for the free tools. So a lot of the software platforms get you in by going, we'll give you this free option, one user, you get up to 1,000 contacts, and free is awesome. But then once your business grows, you hit 1,000 users, you get to 2,000 users, whatever it is, the price starts creeping up and it starts getting very expensive very quickly. We used to recommend MailChimp. We used to recommend HubSpot. We used to recommend Kajabi. There's a whole bunch of different platforms that all specialize in different things. One's for email marketing. One's for managing your customers and having like an inbox for your emails, your texts, your social media. You have another one for your courses. All of these are great because they'll generally offer a free tier. But what happens when your business starts growing? They start charging you an arm and a leg, and suddenly your software costs are like $1,000 a month. So I think what Go High Level really attracted me in, because my story was I was using HubSpot and I was recommending that to all our clients, and it's great because it has a free tier. But then as soon as you want to start getting into the automation, you want to start going, okay, they fill out this form. I want to send, a series of emails, or I want to segment my list. Suddenly it's $75 a month. And then if you get over 1,000 people in your contact database, then it's another $75. It just starts getting really expensive. So, I think having everything in one place is a huge advantage because you only have to log into one thing and it's all there. And like you said, you don't need Zapier to kind of connect all of the different platforms and learn how to connect those with a trigger here and the action there. It can get really complicated, right? Like, I know you are actually very impressive user of software. You blow me away every time you're like, hey, I've set up this thing. And I'm like, we just talked about this yesterday. You've already done it. You're pretty good at these stuff, but like, it's a pain in the butt, if I can say that. I don't know.
I'm going to put my hand up here and I am going to shock the crap out of the both of you.
Let me drink
first.
It is a Friday afternoon.
In saying that, like when I first met Jac, I'm like, woman, just stop for a minute. Like, just let me breathe, because there was email after email of this platform, that platform, this, that, like everything was coming in because she was.
You can imagine.
You were on so much, and I'm just like, oh my God, I just can't deal. And I can deal now, but I'm still on like all of the emails. Jac, you're going to hate me. I'm sorry. All the emails that you send, I read them. I do, but I get confused when
in his brain, he goes, I think I replied to that.
Yeah. I have galloping ADHD, and you'd think that I'd be good at all this different stuff, but it's just, I need black and white, and everything that you've just spoke about, like all of the platforms, all of that, I have no idea. And if there's anyone else out there that is watching that is like me, that has no idea, strap yourself in, because you're in for a ride.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to say, Ben, I think, is that like most of us are super busy. We don't have time to learn all the new tools that are out there. And especially when you're trying to run a business, you're trying to get new clients, you're trying to, just do what you do. There's all this software that can pile up, and you should be emailing people and adding them to a database. That you should be posting more content to social media. There's things that you should be doing, but it just gets kind of in the too hard basket, like it's like, you're posting videos to all the different platforms. You've got to film the video, then you've got to go into Instagram, you've got to upload, go into TikTok, you got to upload, you got to go into 5 different channels, and it's just really time consuming. So I think the key is for small business owners is that if you can find, wedding planners are definitely people who can do 50 different things at once. Like Jac, you're a perfect example of somebody who moves 1,000,000 miles a minute, gets everything done. And I think it leaves me and Ben sometimes in shock and amazement. I think the key thing is that you need to find tools that will help you in getting the job done faster and easier, but it won't cost the earth. And I think that's where Go High Level can really fit the bill.
There's a lot of moving pieces and there's a lot to learn. I'm still not all over it. I'm sure Kyle's still not all over the full-on capabilities of this software. It's a beast. So what we're going to do today is kind of just hone in on some of the key things that wedding professionals would use inside this system, like some of the, like processing leads and all of that sort of stuff, invoicing and all of that. So we'll go into some specifics around useful features for wedding professionals. But also for those of you who are students already at the Wedding Academy, Kyle is going to share with us a little webinar walkthrough so you can get the visual of the back end and what the system looks like as well. So we'll have links to that inside WATV for Wedding Academy students. So let's take it back a step. Kyle, I want to know kind of like how you started your journey in digital marketing and then how it led you to discovering Go High Level.
Yeah, it's a good question. I started my digital marketing journey with my own business. I used to be in the music industry. I helped run like an independent music label in New Zealand. And it was all about marketing events. Social media was a really big thing. And it just kind of grew from there. And I had more and more clients who were like, hey, I'd love you to help me in building a website or setting up some, social media campaigns. And it evolved into starting to build up an agency about 10 years ago. And I love learning new things. I've launched a business called Social Geeks because I am very social. If you can't tell, I love chatting to people and I could talk all day if you let me. But I also am a bit of a self-professed geek. I love learning new things. Like when AI came out, I dove down this rabbit hole. We're setting up agents at the moment with AI. Like there's so much cool stuff that's out there and it's only getting faster and faster. So I guess my journey has always been learning how to use the latest kind of technology to help people with their businesses and help them in saving time and saving money, I guess, at the end of the day, getting more ROI, more bang out of their buck from whatever it is that they're doing. So it's been a long kind of a journey and a lot of, different changes along the way. My God, my head spins thinking of like the last decade of how many changes there's been with like the Facebook algorithms and bloody Facebook ads and Google and TikTok's now like looking like it's going to get banned in the US. There's just so many crazy things happening, AI, but it's a really exciting place to be, I find as well, because it's just, I don't know, like you're like me, Jac. I know that you love learning new things and you move really quickly. So it's a fun industry to be in. It's a fun place to help clients.
So my first question, I guess, would be, let's take Ben as an example. He's a wedding photographer, right? And let's pretend that he's got nothing kind of going on from an automation sense. People find his website and they might do an inquiry online and then he manually emails or however he does what he does. How could someone in a business like that implement some really easy things with opening a GHL account? Like what are the first couple of things that they could implement?
Yeah, great question. I think that there's always going to be two areas in your business that could really help like get automation in place. The first one is your sales and marketing funnels. How do you get people who are inquiring with you to constantly be moving more and more towards becoming a customer? And that doesn't mean you're constantly selling, but it means that you're staying front of mind with email campaigns. You're giving them testimonials, case studies. You're talking about tips on, what you need to do before you get married, planning tips, all of these things that you can do as a photographer or a wedding professional. You're making sure that you're showing up in their inbox, that you're showing up if you get their number, you're sending them text messages, you're getting content out there, etc. Right? That's really important. And there's so many ways you can automate that with CRMs and Go High Level software that can help you make sure that you're not letting leads slip through the cracks. We all get busy. I imagine that Ben, as a photographer, you're probably super busy when you're on shoot at a wedding on a weekend. You don't really have time to be replying back to messages or emails. And that's when people are kind of expecting quick responses. They're kind of expecting something back to confirm that you've received their message. So a really simple thing to do would be to set up Go High Level to have automation for replying back to customers wherever they're first messaging you. So it could be on Facebook, could be on Instagram, could be a text message or an email or a form on your website. Whichever way, you want to make sure that they're getting replied back to. I think that high level as well, if you set up your sales funnel right, you're making sure that the steps that people would take normally through the sales journey, they're kind of falling into the right place. So normally what this would look like is people are reaching out to kind of understand, hey, can I get a better idea of your pricing, your availability? Really love your photos on Instagram or on Pinterest or wherever you're putting them up. I want to see if you're available on the 10th of May, 2026 or whatever, right? And so they're just starting to get information. They're probably looking at 50 different people at the same time, and they're trying to narrow it down by figuring out your pricing, et cetera. So that would be the first kind of step in your sales funnel, is somebody coming in and you're saying, all right, this person's an inquiry, a new lead, and they're asking for a price list. So you could automate that potentially and have like your first email going out being like, thanks so much for your inquiry. Here's our price guide below attached. We'd love to book in a call to talk to you. Here's a link to book in on my calendar. And that's an automated email. So if you can set that up to just save your time when you're busy on a shoot, you're at the wedding, like you don't have time to reply back, like that could be a really easy example of a starting automation that you could set up with Go High Level. To be honest, you could normally set that up with any CRM, but that's an example of how the software can kind of save you time and make sure everyone's getting a reply.
I think another one that's built in, another two that are built in that are top of mind for me, that would be the first things you'd implement, live chat. The live chat and Go High Level is not just for your website. You can incorporate your Facebook page, your Instagram page. You can put all of these sort of channels into one inbox, which is awesome.
Yeah, for people like us, like having everything in one place and on your phone as well is really handy. Like that's something that for me, I was like, that's worth it alone to have just one place that I have to check rather than logging into Facebook and all these other channels, right?
Yeah.
So that definitely was very handy.
You kind of don't even need to look where it's from. You just reply.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a really nice feature. Something that I really geek out on is you can train up AI assistants for your business as well, which can then help reply. And it's not like, going to be amazing answering every single question perfectly every time. But what it can do is be trained up on your services from your website, and it's aiming to book them in for a call with you. So generally, all of us are service-based businesses, whether you're a photographer, a wedding planner, a florist, like you're providing a service. And generally the first stage of the sales journey is to talk to the customer, right? To book in a call, have a chat, understand what their needs are, what they're looking for, what's important to them, and then answer their questions and provide them with an outline of your services and pricing and availability. So the AI assistant can do that across like Facebook, Instagram, live chat on your website. And I think that's a great feature. Like we have it on our website. I believe, Jac, you probably have some. Actually, you guys do answer human as much as you can. So I think that's a good thing to do. But you can set up AI if you are busy to be able to provide a reply 24/7 and answer most questions, and then try to get them to book in for that free consultation or that sales call, whatever you want to call it, to kind of have a chat.
I think the other feature that comes to mind, the last one I'll share, is the online booking calendar. So, for Ben, you could have a calendar on there that you set your availability that's live and links to whatever calendar you've got, whether that's, your Google Calendar, whatever. But, you set the parameters and people can book their free 15-minute consultation or whatever. You set whether it's Zoom or if it's, on the phone or whatever. But it's not just the fact that you can embed that on your website and it's a booking calendar. It's when you put some of those things together, like have the follow-up to reduce the no-shows. So set up, when we talked about the email automations, you can set up an email automation that's, Jac Bowie's booked a consultation, send her this email to confirm the details and any instructions to prepare something for the call. You might say, oh, please bring your partner, any photos that you've seen of styles that you like or whatever. You can put all that in the information. Then as the appointment gets closer, you can customize your reminder emails and really reduce the no-show. So you don't have to worry about that sort of admin and getting them the details. You just turn up to your appointment knowing that they've got everything that they need. You didn't have to do it,
Yeah, exactly.
So Kyle, Jac can see that I'm just chanting to say something. Kyle, I'm pretty sure by now that you've worked out that Jac is the one that sticks to the script and I'm the one that goes off-road, right? So I want to fire something at you that you haven't maybe read. It's a two-pronged kind of question, right? So in terms of the volume that someone would have to require your services or the services of this platform, what's your level? What's your volume, do you think? Because I mean, for me, I'm shooting 50 weddings a year. I don't really want to do more than that. Like, that's my little self-imposed glass ceiling that I'm comfy with. If I want to bring on more people, I could do that. And then, yes, I would need a situation like this. But for me personally, and I think for a lot of other, photographers or planners or florists or something who are only dealing with or only choosing to take on a limited number, what's that golden number, do you think?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's kind of this, I'd throw back another question to you, Ben. It's kind of like, what's the number for me to have a website? Like, what's the number that I need to start a Facebook page or Instagram account? Like, it's kind of like, you're going to need to have tools in your business. And I don't know if you necessarily would say there's a magic number that would probably be the number to qualify. I'd say it'd be more like with Go High Level, you can build your website in here as well. So I think the big thing that Jac and I have found value in this is that this can replace essentially like every tool that you would need as a photographer, a wedding planner, etc., and have it all in one place. And if you look at the cost that you're paying for your website, for your calendar booking system, for your email marketing platform, like all those costs begin to stack up. So I'd say for like MailChimp, for example, like they're famous for email marketing, and most wedding planners, photographers probably use something like MailChimp. If you look at that, if you've got like 1,000 people in your contact list, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me here exact on the figure, but I'm pretty sure it's around $70 a month Australian just to have 1,000 plus people in your email list. So I would probably, maybe to give you a number, I would say that if you've got more than 1,000 people in your email list, you're probably wanting to look at using a tool like this. And you compare it with Klaviyo or MailChimp or MailerLite or, one of the many different email marketing systems out there. It does everything that those platforms do, but then you have like 20 different features that are also really helpful for a wedding planner or photographer, right? So that's, I think, where I would say this would be a valuable tool. If you're paying for other software, if you're paying for a website like on Squarespace, for example, or for Weebly, they normally charge about $30 a month Australian for just a basic website, right? So if you can build that in High Level, you get the email marketing, you get Calendly, you get a social media scheduler. Like, have you guys used Hootsuite or heard of Hootsuite before? Yeah, so Hootsuite also charges like $99 a month. All of these just get really expensive. And I think it's like the death by 1,000 cuts. Like, we're trying to make money, but then when you really look at the end of the year, you're doing your taxes at the end of financial year and you go, I spent how much on software? This is crazy. Like, for us, we're spending probably like, before we started using Go High Level, it was easily like 20K a year on software. And that's just like, I could potentially start looking at hiring someone part-time in the business if I just kind of looked at cutting back on the software fees, right? So I think that's where Go High Level is really valuable. Is for Jac and the Wedding Academy, it's like a huge amount of savings. And we've seen dozens of clients who've come on board who are spending like $1,200 a month easy on email marketing software, because they had 20,000 people in their database, and it's like they charge you for users for some reason rather than how many emails you're sending. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, Ben. It's a bit of a long-winded answer.
Can I add? I think too, it's not about the amount of people that you have. It's when you've reached a point that you're bogged down by admin, right? Yeah. You want to be taking photos. You don't want to be emailing and following up on leads that have gone cold. Like, you want to remove as much admin and automate as much admin as possible. So like, we're in the business of being creative and being at weddings. Like, that's what we should be doing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when you reach that point that you're like, I'm bogged down with admin, I need to like find a smarter way to do this. That's when you probably should move.
100%. Yeah. I think a really good example would be like talking about the Wedding Academy, the way that we both found out about Go High Level. And we were like, oh my God, this is great. And we looked at what was firstly the biggest pain point in the business and what was costing us the most amount of money. And we prioritized it that way. So we were kind of like, what are the 20% of software that's causing us 80% of the problems? And what's the software that's costing us the most amount of money for the same features? Yeah. So we started migrating those over first into the platform, and then we were able to switch those off and then focus on the next one. And so I think for somebody like yourself, Ben, like it's if you're only wanting to do 50 a year, which is still a lot to be fair, but if you are looking to do 50 weddings a year, you're probably still spending a couple of hours a week, I would guess, doing admin, sending out emails, replying back to inquiries. So it's kind of just doing, I guess, a quick analysis of, could I save an hour a week, right? And then how much is an hour of my time worth, or a couple hours of my time worth, and then making a judgment call from there. Because if it's $100 a month and you're doing an hour's worth of work a week, let's say it's 4.5 hours a month, right? Like, it's probably worth spending the $100 to kind of get some help there and maybe automate away that.
Yep. So thank you. Part two. I was listening intently when you were talking about the inquiry, the automated email, the schedule, the calendar, the booking them in, blah, blah, blah. Fantastic. But in my world, it's I don't think it's happened like that for about 10 years.
Okay.
Now the inquiries, and I hope that I'm speaking on behalf of all the wedding professionals out there, the inquiries are coming in, and if they are coming in, if you're doing a good job at marketing and that's happening, and they do come in, the question is, how much are you? Do you have packages? And I think that's pretty much universal for every wedding supplier. Now, you can reply to that. You can get an automated email out, but actually being able to speak to these people and these potential clients on the phone is an absolute rarity. I know for me, like even with my reputation, how long I've been here, I can't still pick up, I pick up the phone whenever there's an inquiry and I try and ring them. A lot of times they don't want to hear from me. They just want to know how much, and then they want to move along. Now, whether that's because I, as a wedding professional, haven't sold them enough on what I do, who I am, blah, 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 but that's the reality of what's happening now. Jack is bursting. No, just wait a minute. Wait. All right, go. I know you're going to explode. Go.
You can do those things on Go High Level, but you're just thinking of email follow-up, right? But
no, because there's that golden rule of reply to them in the means that they've contacted you. Yes. So that's been the marketing kind of and the communication.
I'm going to say this.
For how long?
I'm going to say this, right?
Yeah.
If I go to your website and all I care about is price,
yeah.
right? You're an idiot if you put it up there without capturing me. You shouldn't have it listed on your page. Sorry to all those people out there that do that, but it's ridiculous.
Do not put your prices on your website. Please do not do that. Yep.
So you have to capture them. The easiest way would be like download my brochure for pricing, right?
No, because
why?
As soon as you do that, what you're essentially doing, pardon me, is saying to them, here's my prices, here's what I do, tell me what you don't like. And they won't. This is the thing with
But that's why you need the automation. What are you doing currently? You're ringing them and you're going, right, you've downloaded my brochure, but I haven't heard from you.
No, they haven't downloaded my brochure because they've seen what I do. They want to know the pricing because it's not on my website. They contact me via email. Some will ring, but I found the people who ring are the people who were born from, 1980 back, right? Uh-huh. Anyone else from like 1985 forwards is like, email how much? Like, that's just sorry if I've offended you, but that's what's kind of going on. Like, and they see the website, they see what I offer, they want to know the prices, they email me, I get that email, and then I need to answer the questions that they've asked me in that email, because sometimes there is questions, sometimes it's just money packages, right? And then I'll reply to them with a dedicated reply. Like, I've got a copy and paste template, but I add bits into that template to make it more personalized to them. I ask them about the wedding, I ask them about certain things, and then I'll add my pricing into that so that they get an answer. Firstly, they get an answer to their question. And then from there, I can see, well, they'll tell me whether I'm too expensive or if I'm in their budget, because I'll either hear from them or I won't. So, how
you do you, boo?
that scenario, Kyle?
scaling and making money. So you do your book.
Well, here's the thing, Ben. I reckon that you're absolutely right. Like, a lot of people don't like calling straight away, but you don't want to put your pricing on the website as well, because a lot of people, there's in the marketing world, and Jac, you're an expert in this as well. There's different quadrants in terms of what people are after, and most people, especially when it's a high price point, are looking at their budget, right? But there are people who are also looking at, like, they're willing to pay more for somebody who is reputable, who has a good quality, good portfolio, comes highly recommended. They want quality over a good deal, right? They want good deal, but they want to know for the biggest day of their lives that they're going to get the right person who's going to do a good job and isn't going to bugger it up. Like, that's really important, because there's nothing worse than hiring a cheap photographer who then, loses the photos, and you've absolutely destroyed those memories. So I think that for somebody like yourself, what I would probably look to do, the basic way would be to do what Jac said, and I think it's a great strategy, having it behind a form. So you're capturing their name, their number, their email address, and any qualifying information that you want to know about their wedding that would help you in giving them a more detailed price, and then emailing them using an automated series of follow-ups with testimonials, with guides, with all of those things that would help them in remembering you, because in that first 7 days, they're probably going to be talking to 10 different photographers, right? They're doing the whole, how much, like sending those emails out, and everyone's getting those. So they're going shotgun approach of just trying to get prices from everyone, then going through your portfolios, and then making a decision. If you're the person who's consistently dropping into their inbox, you're also sending them a text, you're also trying to give them a call. Yes, some people might find this annoying, but at the end of the day, this is your job, and this is you showing that you're a professional, and that if they want information from you, you're going to try to send them an email, send them a text, give them a phone call to make sure that they've got that information, right? It's not spam if they've given you their details asking for a price. You're just a professional business that's getting back to somebody quickly and promptly, and that's what we want. So with high level, there's an automation in there called the Fast 5. And the Fast 5, essentially, whenever you get somebody fill out a form on your website or a survey, or there's a bunch of different ways you can trigger this, essentially it will send them an email that you can automate. So you fill out an email, you can put in dynamic fields to have their name, their, the details that they provided to make it a bit more personalized, and sends that out. It can also send them a text message or a WhatsApp message. And then I think this is really cool. It can also call you and say, hey, you've just gotten a new inquiry. Would you like us to connect you? And if you push any number, it'll connect the call through to that person. So there's different ways that you can kind of set that up. So if you're busy, totally cool, right? Like you're not going to be able to take that call. But if you are, let's say you're out on a shoot, you're on break, and you get a call and it's like, hey, you've got a new inquiry on your website. Do you want to speak to them? You go, yeah, I would. Push 1. Okay. And then it connects you to that person. And they have literally just sent through that inquiry. So if they're available, which they likely are at that time, you're going to be able to speak to them straight away. And I know I would be wowed if I sent an inquiry on anybody's website and they called me within 5 minutes. I'd be blown away. How often does that happen? Like, never happens, right? So having that automation just makes you stand out from the rest, because like I said, they're going to message 10 other photographers in that session, most likely, saying price list, how much, and just wait to go back from those folk.
I just want to add too that there's lots of wedding businesses out there that have set prices and packages, and there are wedding providers out there who can do sort of build your own package. Like Darling Don't Panic, my wedding planning business that I sold, we started off having packages. We had a full service planning, a styling, and an on the day, and they were set. It was, a particular price. So early on, we built proposals that people would download, fill out a form, and they would get emailed the proposal. And then it would have a series of follow-ups. We spent a lot of money on the design and the look of that proposal because we felt like that was our chance to really capture them and demonstrate what we could do. But then it was interactive in that they could select and then straight away from that pay their deposit, sign their contract if they wanted to. And plenty of them did that without even speaking to us. Over the years, we refined it even more that instead of having packages, we had a completely custom proposal, because we found the niche for Darling Don't Panic was everyone seemed to have started something. They've booked their venue, they've booked their photographer, they've booked like 3 or 4 or 5 things, and then they've found us. So it was never kind of like this blank slate of, let's have coffee and plan everything out. It was always like picking up from somewhere. So with this, it enabled couples to kind of go, I need help finding a photographer. I need help finding a venue. And they would build their own quote and the price would be in front of their eyes while they built it.
Yeah.
And the conversions in our business that like absolutely skyrocketed after we did that, because people were going, oh, I don't need to pay for that. I've already got my florist. You know, they could see the value in, and also for us, it was no longer about this package is a bit airy-fairy, because, you know, I've had full service wedding planning packages that I might have charged $5,000, for example, at the time for the package. And one bride, it was $20,000 worth of work. The other bride, it was $3,000 worth of work. The amount of difference in workload. So, but my point is, for people like that, Go High Level also has solutions where people can download your price if it's set, or if you want to do a build your own thing. I know that proposals, I've been playing with that in Go High Level in recent weeks. I haven't got the design perfect yet, but I certainly have the capabilities to go in there and say, you can cherry pick what you want and build your own invoice and attach a contract and attach Stripe or PayPal. And people can, you know, download your pricing in that way and book and pay without even speaking to you. It happens.
Well, one thing I'm really glad you brought that up, because I was thinking of this when we were talking about like not giving your price list away on your website. I think that having a quiz on your website, they might seem outdated, but quizzes are great. I think that.
What say that when people are doing our quiz all the time.
Yeah, no, I think quizzes are great. Like, I think a lot of people think they were like, oh, well, that's kind of peaked. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really see quizzes that often anymore, but I still think they're really, really good. The one on the Wedding Academy it still converts so many people. Like, you know, you might have 1% of people download your price guide, but you might have 10% of the people who visit your website take a quiz that kind of figures out what type of wedding planner might be best for them, or what type of photographer they should work with. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe giving you some bad examples there, but you can use that quiz to then qualify your audience and ask them questions about where they're up to in the wedding planning journey. Have they talked to other photographers? What style of photography are they wanting? Is it going to be kind of more casual, more pose? Are they going to get, I don't know, come in on horseback? Like, you can ask all those questions in a quiz that will then help you provide a better proposal. And like Jac said, there is actually ways that you can automate the quiz to then send them a customized proposal that they can accept. Either, you know, like select the services that they want and take the whole, you know, call and everything out. And not everyone's going to do that, but there might be 1 out of 5 people who go, you know what, this is great. I'm just keen to get started. Sign the, you know, dotted line, and then you've got a client who's signed up to a 5K package. Like, that would be the dream outcome, right? So there's that option, and it's just looking at how do you get that to work so that it really provides a good customer experience. And I think quizzes are fun. Like, quizzes are great. I love taking quizzes just because it will help me kind of go, oh, yep, I hadn't thought about this, and, you know, I didn't even realize that was an option. And then it kind of gives you a customized score, or, you know, tells you how good or bad you're doing, or what type of personality you are. And that kind of helps you in that journey of going, cool, like, this now understands me better. And like with the Wedding Academy, it tells you which you know, certificates you'd probably be best suited for based on what you actually enjoy doing, what brings you joy, what do you do in your day to day? Are you more of an organizer, or, you know, are you more of a bit more of a people you know, person? So you can kind of go through that and figure out what type of certificate or what type of service you should go for.
I really like the idea of that quote builder scenario, like, because that's really cool, because it's interactive and they can build what they want, and then they get it there, and then you can have the hook, I guess. Do you want 15% off this? Get in touch.
I'm sure Kerry can send you the one from Darling Day Panic Ben, or you could just sign up and spam her and pretend that, you know, you need a wedding planner for you and Haley. Just
cool.
saying.
Yeah. I'll be sure to reach out.
Yeah.
Now, I have another thing that we need to talk about is reviews, right? Ben, I'm sure you and I have discussed this on a previous episode, where it's, you know, you've got to ask for these testimonials, because if you don't ask, you're only ever going to get the bad ones, right? We're all on the same page with that. We've got to be proactive and ask our couples for feedback, and we've got to use that feedback. We've got to turn it into content. We've got to turn it into proof. We've got to turn it into, part of these email series when we're sort of saying, here's what other people say. It's like working with all that. So go high level. Sure, you can work into an automation, sort of like an offboarding sequence that, after the wedding, I don't know, a couple of days later, weeks later, whatever, you ask for feedback. That's great. Yep. And you can do it. You can set it up so it goes to your Google My Business page or your Facebook page, or you can put your own links like Trustpilot and things like that. That's all fine. But the automation behind all of this is incredible. It is literally set and forget. And not only is it able to send people this follow-up automatically, get the testimonial, it will also reply for you using AI, which is really nice when you don't want to read the bad ones. You can come in and you just go, you can do that. GHL can do that.
Bad reviews can be devastating, can't they? Like you cannot help but take it personally. I think with High Level, they do have really great tools there to help in automating the things that you want to automate, but then take on the things that you want to still take on yourself. So you kind of have control over, it doesn't have to be AI for everything or automation for everything. You kind of choose what you want to have automated. For reviews, for example, like I tend to try to, if there is a bad review, I think that's a good opportunity. I always say to clients, it's always a good opportunity to actually sell yourself even more, because you can potentially, if you do handle that bad review well, you might be able to salvage that and turn it around and bring somebody back who then becomes a lifelong advocate of your brand. But let's say they're a crazy who you can't save. At least everyone else who looked at the bad review can see that you went above and beyond to try to help that person. And they go, oh, this person was clearly just having a bad day, but they really went in to try to fix this. And I think that's what people look for when, we all get bad reviews. It's part of, running a business. It's devastating when it happens, but if you don't have a bad review, I think people kind of like look at your reviews and kind of go, this looks fake, man. Like you got 5 stars. It just doesn't sound right. So, I think how you handle those bad reviews is really key. But I agree, like automating it is so easy. If you want to set up AI to help you reply to 5-star reviews, or you want it to reply to 4-star and below reviews, and then you reply to it, or just reply to all reviews on Google and Facebook, like it can automatically kind of, you set the timer 20 minutes after the review. I want you to reply to all of our reviews. It's pretty fantastic like that. I like it anyways.
For all of you out there who are getting the review, highlighting all the text, going to Canva and making your Square Instagram post to post that beautiful client testimonial, you don't even have to do that anymore. Go High Level does it for you. You say, I just want the ones that are 4-star and above. You can auto turn them into a social post and post it in my branding. Thanks.
We need to get you a magic automation one day. It's like, it can just do this.
Like testimonials are done. Do you know what I mean? It's like dealing with that stuff in the day-to-day. It's in my business, I've been able to one by one eliminate.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And it is kind of like one of those things where if you're making a 1% improvement in your business every week or even every month, that's a compounding effect, So you really do want to try to look at ways that you can save yourself time to focus on the most important things in your business. And often that's doing what you do, being a good photographer, going to events and, trying to meet with potential brides-to-be's and other people who would be interested in your services. That's where the magic really happens. Like, it's not really when you're going and sharing reviews on Pinterest, like that's not where the magic happens. That might be something that convinces somebody who already knows who you are. They go, oh, I forgot about this person. I see this post, and then they come back to you. But it's very rare that that's going to be the one piece of content that converts a complete stranger to, choosing you as their photographer or wedding planner. So it's good to do, but if you can have AI or you can have a system that helps you automate that, it's getting it out there. It's just 1% less things you have to worry about, and one thing that's just happening in the background automatically. And it really is just, if you're doing it and other people aren't, then you are standing out from the rest, right? And that's really the key, I think.
Yeah.
With Wedding Academy, we were getting bogged down with so much admin that it was taking away time to update the course content. And now we're in a position where we actually can go, hey, we can block out a period of the year and do our course updates, which we haven't been able to do in couple of years, really.
Wow.
So anyway, Ben, go.
Kyle, we're going off-road again.
I love it. Let's do it.
So strap yourself in, stay on your toes. So Jac is the software lady, right? I am not.
You're not a software lady?
No. I identify as challenged in that respect. I identify as challenged. So I would backstory. I was given the license to a CRM quite a number of years ago, and was said, "Here you go. This is all you. Become a brand ambassador for us." Blah blah blah. I tried to use this thing, but I was just overwhelmed with what it had at the start, and every month something just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they just added, and it got, after like 4 or 5 months, it became too overwhelming and too time consuming for me to actually get to know what this thing did, and it became more of a hindrance than a help. So my question is, how easy is Go High Level to someone who gets easily overwhelmed with this software stuff like I do? So many other people. Stop smiling, Jac. I can see that little red. So tell us, what's the back end, like how user-friendly is it for someone who identifies as technologically challenged like me? And what's the support there to help someone like me that gets overwhelmed with this stuff really quickly?
I've got to be honest, Ben, it's a really great question. And I think that most CRMs can be really overwhelming. Like, it's because there's just such a sheer volume of things you can do with CRMs and all the automation. It does get really overwhelming, especially for people who are technically challenged, maybe, the people who are technophobes, perhaps, learning new things, especially when it comes to software. It's like, man, I would rather bang my head against a wall than have to learn this thing. And I do think that Go High Level, where it has heaps in the features, it can be really daunting. And that's probably the biggest bit of feedback that I've gotten from clients is like, where do I start with this? And I think that if you are one of the people who do feel that way, it probably would pay to have somebody in your team or somebody in your corner, that can help you with the technical side of things. That's what we do a lot of for our clients, is we kind of set the system up and give you a guide on how to use it. Jac is a perfect example where we set it up for her. It took us, honestly, because Wedding Academy is a very big business with a lot of complexity. They got online courses, like 25 different funnels. They've got so much going on. It took a while to get it all set up, but we did all of the heavy lifting, so to speak. I'm not going to say all the heavy lifting, because Jac actually did a lot of the work as well.
I mucked up lots of things and he had to do them over and over. That's what he's trying to say.
It up. You got in there and you rolled your sleeves up, set up all the emails. You did heaps of work, which was quite helpful. Oh, I think Jac's frozen on me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, Jac's frozen. I'm going to get a screenshot of that. That's fantastic. If she can see me or hear me, she's going to be horrified at that now. But anyway, it looks like we've lost her. So please carry on, mate.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, I think that it would really pay to have, just like when you're building a website, you've got to think about what is it that you're wanting from it. And if you're not technically, if you're not able to build a website, then you probably don't want to start from scratch building a website yourself, right? You're going to find somebody who comes recommended, a developer, a designer, somebody who's built websites before, and you're going to bring the vision. Hey, I want to have a great homepage, a portfolio page, a contact page. These are the things that I need to have on the site. I like these designs. Can you get it done? And I think it's the same for this type of software, because you are setting up essentially a business in a box where it's going to be your emails, your social media. You can create pages and websites in it. You want to kind of go, here's what I want out of a CRM. I want to be able to automate my emails. I want to be able to set up a sales funnel so that I know people coming from my website or from social media or wherever they come from are going to get responded to quickly. Here's the message I want to send them. Here's my price guide. You can kind of outline what it is that you want to include and help you with that process.
Yeah.
And then your job is just like building a website. You're not going to go in there and build the whole thing and then update all the pages, but you might figure out how to update your portfolio. You might know how to reply back to comments or reply back to, add blog articles, reply back to new inquiries.
Greg, those can I hotspot your phone, please?
And I think a CRM is very much the same. I would say that Go High Level, you don't want to do everything, because if you don't like setting up funnels or you don't like doing automation, it's going to be a nightmare. You're going to end up pulling out your hair.
Are we back?
Frustrated. Oh, she's back.
And look, it's not even so much the fact of not liking to do it. Like I know for a lot of people, myself, my partner Haley, like, you know, there's a lot of people out there that if something is a little bit too difficult, then the overwhelm kicks off, and then there's actually a failure to start.
Yeah.
So the failure to start is the killer because of the overwhelm. When if there was that one step at a time scenario, it's what I say to myself. I go, dude, you got so much to do. Just do the first thing, and then it rolls on from there. But I had something else that was really important, and I've forgotten. So, yeah,
a really good question, Ben. Like I really think that, like I was saying to you before, Jack, jump back in. I think that you need to start with, what do I want out of this? What are the things that are causing me the biggest pain, or the things that I know I'm not doing that I should be doing? A really big one, guys, is email marketing. There's so many studies that show for every $1 you spend on email marketing automation, you make $30 to $40 back. Like, it's a staggering amount of money back. And that is because people might not be ready to jump in when they contact you. We all know that there's been people that we've dealt with who will take 3 to 6 months sometimes to make a decision, right? Yeah. And if you're the one person who's continually showing up in their inbox with helpful content that's relevant to them, it's guides, it's testimonials, it's relatable content about how stressful a wedding can be, how, you know, whatever it is, right? You're the person who stays front of mind that the 10 other people that they've contacted, if they don't have email marketing set up, they're gone, right? Like they may as well not exist. So things like that, very simple to set up, but it's, once you set it up, it's there for life, right? So the email marketing side, it's like, it's a pain in the butt to get going, because you got to think about, what am I going to write, and when am I going to send it, and who am I going to send it to, and how does this all work? But it's essentially like you're funneling people into a segmented list. This is now the automation that will go out for the next 3 months. You know, they're going to get an email every week. It's going to be different types of content, but that goes out to everyone who ever contacts you, because when they fill out a form, they're agreeing to receiving marketing content from you. Yep. So anybody who contacts you and gives you their email address and opts in, you want to get them into that automation funnel, so that you're keeping in their inbox over the next 3 months. So things like that, that's a really good place to start, I would say. And then you're also looking at, how do I help with replying back to all the comments and all the messages that I get that I might be, you know, too busy or just missing, right? Because we get busy and suddenly we're like, shit, I knew I had to reply to that person. I completely forgot. When was that? It was a week ago. Okay, missed the boat. If you have automation set up to just make sure that that's taken care of, you have notifications popping up on your phone, and you know that you need to call that person, or, you know, you've already texted them, you've emailed them, and that's all done. It just means that your job's a little bit easier. So it's, again, just figuring out, like, how does it fit into your world now, and not trying, it's just like we're talking about, like, wedding planning before. Like, you're not going to go in and be like, one size fits all. I'm going to plan your wedding from beginning to end, because some people have already done half the work and other people don't want half the work. So you're able to kind of look at a system like Go High Level and figure out what is going to be the most value to me, and what can I start with to get this all set up. I think email marketing is probably the best one to look at. Yeah, sure. But yeah, that would be my starting point.
Love it. That's good. So I'm sure that just knowing that alone is just going to help a lot of people that do deal with that overwhelm. So that's really good.
So, and something that's probably worth mentioning. Sorry, Ben, I don't mean to. I get really excited, so I'm going to try to stop talking over everyone. But there are templates as well in High Level, and there's one for wedding professionals, photographers as well. So it's kind of like think of it like a template for, you have your initial offer, it creates a landing page for you, a series of emails that can be sent out, and then you can tailor that to your own business. So you're not starting from scratch. It's kind of like, okay, I've got the 80% of the way there, and I can now customize this to suit with my own images, my own content, things like that. That's a really good way to kind of kick things off, I think, because most of us need something to entice people in, whether it's a price list or a special offer or it's a quiz. We need something that brings people in, attracts them, and gets them to start the sales conversation. And then once they're there, you can have a series of automations that just keep them nurtured and keep them up to date with why you're amazing, and, your testimonials, the work that you do, and why they should go with you. You're not going to win everyone all the time, but the people who resonate with that are the ones that will come back again, and you want to try to get those people to become paying customers. So, yeah, I forgot how I started.
Another one that worked really well for Darling Don't Panic, we had a day of package, and this will apply to other planners and things like that. And when we did the initial form where they put in their inquiry, we said your wedding date or your approximate wedding date, or however we worded it, right? The date that they were considering, or the confirmed date. And we would refer to that in other places down the track, especially if they hadn't booked with us. We would send them one, I think it was a month out or 2 months out, and then sort of reintroduce the day of package. And that worked really well. We got a lot of people that we missed out at the beginning, but they came back to us because they decided, oh no, it's too extravagant. We don't want a wedding planner. They've gone and just started doing it themselves. They've got to 2 months before and gone, what the hell? Oh my gosh, she can come in and just do the lot. Yes, have it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that works again really, really well for us. And again, if all of ours, we'd put in, the option to book in and confirm and pay, because there are people like me that are just like, I just want it done. I want to tick that off.
Yeah.
So we have spoken for an hour. It's supposed to be a half-hour episode. So, oh my God.
Do you know what the best bit is though, Jac? Like when you froze, I'm not sure if you know or not, but I screenshotted when you froze. So Kyle and I are both laughing at you, and you're like, and I think we should start a new little thing where anytime someone freezes, I screenshot it, Photoshop it, and stick it on Wedding Academy Facebook page just for laughs. Like,
yeah, we make a meme out of it or something.
Yeah, Jac's going to hate me after this.
I'll be in all these different sceneries going.
If you guys talking about Kyle, I've now been fired.
We're like on the moon. This will only make sense to you if you see this video. Sorry. But Kyle, thank you so much for your time. I am sure there is, I hate this word unpack, but there is so much to unpack. We go high level. We've probably got a few episodes. I don't know how we're going to do it because there's like so many moving parts. But anyway, you've given us an excellent top level view into Go High Level. For those of what's that?
You've even given me some really good ideas, Kyle, like without the sort of, based on Go High Level, you've given me some really good ideas to go back and look at. So
yeah,
I think,
awesome.
And if I've picked those up, I'm sure other people have too.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason is, I'm here is like, if we can help the Wedding Academy audience, like learn or get some tips out of this that they could use in their own business, in their own way. It doesn't have to be high level, right? There's so many CRMs out there. I'm just a big advocate of it because I use it in my own business. I use it for all of my clients, and I help people in getting it set up. So I think that if anybody's watching and they're kind of thinking about getting started using a software like this, I would love to offer a free consultation. If they want to have a chat with me, we can talk through it. Except for Ben. Sorry, I've got to draw the line here, mate. I'm sorry. But
he's busy that day.
I just, I need to work with professionals here. That's
so if I email you, Kyle, am I going to get an automated reply that you don't know about?
Absolutely no.
Right. Radio.
I'll see it and I'll probably have a giggle about it.
I'm going to ask some stupid questions in that email then, something about donkeys and, flags.
See what comes back. Well, emails, I tend to reply back to, but the things that get me, man, are like Instagram and Facebook. I don't always see messages there. So we do have AI, if I'm honest, replying back. But would love to have a chat with you, Ben, and anybody else who's interested. I also have a webinar that walks through high level. So Jac, you asked, could we do kind of a bit of a screen share?
Yeah, so they need the visual.
Yeah, I've got a webinar where I go through the different modules in the CRM and explain how like the inbox works for your conversations, your contacts. The automation side, they have like a whole section for workflows. It's kind of like workflow diagrams, and it's really cool. That's where the magic really, really happens. So if you are interested in, you don't want to talk to me one-to-one, totally fine. The webinar is there for you to go through it and learn more. But if you are thinking about getting this going, more than happy to have a chat. And we are an authorized seller of Go High Level. We have our own branded version, and we do that for $97 Australian a month, or $99. I can't recall, but it's somewhere around $100. So more than happy to have a chat with anybody who wants to learn more. I'm
going to say, with absolute honesty, I found GHL before I knew that Kyle was doing it. And I went and set up my own account and poked around and tried to set up everything myself. And I'm bloody techie. And as soon as I found out he did it, I went, oh my God, can you just set this up? This is like, wait, there's so much that was like, it wasn't over my head, but it was like, it was a lot because my business was a lot. You know, it's not a wedding planning business. It's this beast. So there was a lot to set up in that instance. So I honestly, hand on heart, would recommend if you can go through Kyle because you'll get support from Kyle. You know, you'll have somebody who will help you set it up, customize everything for you. Go High Level aren't as amazingly responsive when it comes to support, and they kind of make you jump on a live like group event thing, and I much prefer the Social Geeks avenue because, yeah, you've got somebody who knows your business, sets it up, is an email away to support and that sort of thing. So highly recommend.
So guys, you heard it there. If you are like me and you identify as technologically challenged, ring this guy.
Yes.
Yes, ring this guy.
No, appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. It's been really fun chatting today, and I hope that this is the first of many conversations that we have. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, definitely. So if you want to find out more about Kyle, head to socialgeeks.com.au. You'll also find him on Instagram and LinkedIn. In the show notes, and for those of you watching on WATV, I am going to post 2 links. I'm going to post a link to sign up. What is it, Kyle? It's a landing page you've created for us. Is it to sign up for Guide High Level, or what is it?
I've got a webinar link that I'll share as well, and then where people can sign up as well if they are interested. And they do have an option for a 30-day trial. So if they want to do a free trial, check it out, kick the tires, so to speak, more than happy to get people going and have a look around as well.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
That's cool.
All right. Well, I'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.